Should student loans be forgiven? This is Noelle Randall, real estate entrepreneur, millionaire, mentor, author, speaker, mom of 5, and so much more. And as a student, as someone that has 2 master's degrees, a bachelor's degrees, I have kids that have gone to school, I know about student loans, and I have some great recommendations on whether or not student loans should be forgiven. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to get right into it because this is a great question for the time that we are in right now. Student loans are a burden on so many people, and many people are wondering what are the pros and cons of if we forgive them or not. But I'm going to tell you some real reasons on why student loans should be forgiven. So one of the reasons why I think that student loans should be forgiven, and one of the things that I'm working on to make sure that they are, is because millennials are not buying homes at the same rate as the older generation. So as much as Gen Z and the baby boomers and Gen X have bought homes, historically speaking, millennials are not able to buy homes, and the data proves it. It's mostly because of student loan debt. So many millennials have so much student loan debt that they no longer qualify to buy a home. Additionally, the payments of their student loans, even if they're income-based, does not usually allow them the ability to save money for a down payment. Even if you need just a small down payment of $13,000 or $10,000, most millennials are making just enough money to pay their rent, pay for their car, and pay their student loans. They're just making enough to get by. They're not making enough to save money, and they surely are not making enough to buy a home. So let's talk about what that means. As a real estate entrepreneur, someone that has made millions of dollars in real estate, I know how important real estate is to building your personal wealth. And so if a millennial is not able to even buy that first home, that first property that they're going to just move into, if they can't buy real estate at all, then they are really harmed in a way when it comes to building their personal wealth. I can't imagine how I could have gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars at one time had it not been from the sale of real estate. What if I was not able to get qualified for real estate after going to school for all of those years, after working a job in my field, having a car, paying my rent, and still not being able to get qualified for a mortgage because of my student loan debt? It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's taking so much money out of our economy. Now, I'm telling you this not just as a real estate entrepreneur, someone that has made millions of dollars in real estate. I'm also going to tell you this as someone with a master's degree in economic development. So economic development, some people they know what economics is, but economic development is more like applied economics. That's where we take economic theories and principles and we actually apply them into the real world. So during my college education and the things that I've learned and things that I've done in my career is how do we make money make money? How do we incentivize people to do things in our economy? How do we incentivize them to buy homes, go shopping in the stores, buy real estate? How do you get people to start generating money in the economy? Well, you have to free up some of the money that they have, okay? So if we need millennials to start spending money and generating money in our economy through buying homes, real estate, and things like that, we're going to have to create a program that frees them up so that they have the money to make those investments. The fact that they already went to school, the teachers have already been paid, the school has already been paid, this is just money that they owe. So if the government decides to waive or forgive a lot of people's student loans, they will no longer have those payments. They will be able to save money and they will start doing things in our economy that brings up all economic activity. So not to get too technical with you, but I'm not saying this just as someone that wants their student loans forgiven, because I don't. Like I said, I am a multimillionaire. I'm not worried about my own student loans. I'm saying from an economic perspective, if we really want to grow our economy, both, tactically and, from a practical standpoint. So forgiving student loans is an easy way to get millennials buying real estate. There has been so much talk about student debt cancellation, and some of the programs are very misleading. So I want to talk to you about that because so many people think that they can just get their student loans forgiven or they can just get them canceled, and we really need to talk through some of this. So some of the programs that you will see out there talk about how you can get your student loan debt canceled. Many of the cases are if you work in public service or if you work as a teacher, for example. Some of them have you teach English abroad. There's lots of different programs that you can go through. You can work in a certain field for a certain amount of years, and then they will cancel out your student loans. Well, that's not as simple as you think. So many of these government programs are so convoluted, so complicated that many people will work in these professions for many years and still never get their student loan debt canceled. There's people that have been working as a teacher and been submitting those income-based things and showing that they work in the programs, and then the school doesn't have enough poverty in it, so then they don't get their student loan forgiven, and just all of this craziness because so many of the programs are misleading and hard to understand. So one of the things that I suggest is that if you are looking for student loan forgiveness or you're looking for some help right there, I know some great companies that I'm going to share with you at the end, but you really need to know that a lot of those programs just do not work the way that they say they do. And you really need to read through all of what they're saying the requirements are and how many times you have to verify that you are doing what they're saying. So many people have read it, the teacher one, for example, and said, okay, if I work as a teacher for 5 years, they're going to go ahead and forgive my student loans. Well, they did not read all of the certifications. They did not read through how they have to recertify that they're in that program, that they're still working in that profession, and different things like that. So again, a lot of it can be very misleading and hard to understand. So please make sure if you are in any of those that you read through all of the caveats. And like I said, if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you a different suggestion if you are interested in getting your student loan canceled through some of these type of programs. Statistics show that less than 10% of borrowers on the income-based repayment plan actually ever get their loan forgiven. Many of the programs require that you work for 10 years at a nonprofit or in social services. And many of these people work in those industries for more than 10 years and still never receive the forgiveness. So again, less than 10% of all of the people that have committed to work in nonprofits and social services on this income-based repayment plans ever exceed that their loan is forgiven. So I have a special company called 𝗏𝐿. They are very near and dear with my heart, and they help students get their loans forgiven so that they can apply for mortgages and actually become eligible for mortgages. 𝗏𝐿 can help you reduce your student loan debt through federal programs and increase mortgage eligibility by $98,000. You can even check out their purchasing power tool that will allow you to see what your mortgage eligibility will be after your student loans are minimized. So 𝗏𝐿 is absolutely amazing at getting students to get their student loan debt minimized so that they can afford homes. This is an amazing service that I want to make sure that all people with student loans are able to check out. And again, it's absolutely free. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.